Hello, my name is Zach Rye with Old Man Gaming. Welcome to another Snap Judgment review. What is a Snap Judgment review if you've never listened before? Well, I think game reviewers nowadays get a little too caught up in 100%ing or near completing the game that they are reviewing. They forget what it's like to play it right away. So I do about 5 to 10 hours with the game or DLC that I review, and I'm trying to tell you whether you're going to enjoy it right away or not. That, coupled with the fact that I think games are one of the most subjective forms of art, I won't be giving you a score to this review. I'm going to give you an overview of what it is. I'm going to be telling you the list of the pros and the cons from my point of view, as all reviews are from my point of view. And I'll be telling you whether I'll be sticking with this game outside the purposes of this content. Wow, I'm excited to do this today because I don't know that I was going to review this at first, but it came out and I just need to talk about it. And I think the best way to do that is in a Snap Judgment review. So we're looking at Absolum, the Threads of Fate update. So what is the Threads of Fate? Well, what is Absolum? Look, go back. I did a review on it. It is one of my all-time favorite games, if not my all-time favorite game. It is a brawler roguelite with a fantasy touch to it. It's a great, great, great game. That being said, go back, watch that if you want the review of the straight game. I'm just talking about the Threads of Fate update, which just came out. What is the Threads of Fate update? Well, they've basically added an end game to this. So, like I said, it's a brawler roguelite, where you kind of have to go through, you fight the boss, then there's a secret boss, you kind of have to do the run again. There's a couple more things that spring up, but one thing that I'll say, my biggest downfall of this game, that bummed me out was the fact that I played it for about 40 hours, and I got everything but one achievement, which I have now unlocked, thankfully. That was kind of due to random hapstance, but I unlocked every achievement. I did all the things. I had 100%ed it. There was nothing else for me to do, so there was just like, other than just playing it to play it, which I still did on occasion, I lost some of the, instinct to play. And you got to do that eventually. You got to move on to the other games. But the Threads of Fate DLC is basically adding the end game that this game kind of missed. So, Threads of Fate DLC, when you log in and you do a mission, everything becomes corrupted. Everything becomes crazy. So random enemies start dropping out of portals. It gets super hard for a second. And if you make it to the first sanctuary, Maugus, the mystic, is there. And you have a little conversation with him. And he basically explains that stuff's gone crazy since you defeated Absolum. And again, spoilers for the original game. If you have not played it or whatever, stop. Watch the review, then go play the game. Only listen to this review if you have already beaten Absolum. So after Absolum's defeat, things have gone crazy. There's energy floating around, and thanks to Maugus, you can kind of turn that into special adventures, which brings about a few new changes to the game. First of all, the corrupted zones are now marked on your map, and they randomly move on the map. So you can kind of avoid them if you want. It also, one of the things that's interesting about this is it gives you a reason to go to places. Like, one thing I had noticed is I found the best way to go through the game to get to the win that I could. And so I just didn't go to the other places. This kind of forces you to go to those other places and explore a little bit more, which is good. This game thrives on exploration. In addition to that, though, they have included what's called the Mystic Ordeals, and everything else kind of flows off the Mystic Ordeals. Mystic Ordeals are these special stipulations on the game. So like the first one you get offered is the Legion Mystic Ordeal. It basically means all the enemies are ×3. So every enemy that pops out, there's actually going to be 2 more of those enemies, but it lowers their health to 25%. So there's just tons of very flimsy enemies flip-flopping around, but it shoots their aggression through the roof. So you basically get swarmed to death. And it changes the way you play. It changes the way the game kind of happens. What's interesting about this, too, is just randomly, and I don't know what these are, but randomly certain areas will just have different things happen. Like one area that I've been to 1,000 times, now just randomly will have a dragon attack it. Another area will have a boss that was never there before. Stuff like that. That's really cool. Gives you a reason to explore again. In addition to this, these ordeals, you only get like 3 unlocked right off the bat when you get the ordeals, but there's like, I want to say like 12 or 15, but you don't get those unlocked until you complete the pre-done ordeals, which they're tough. So that's interesting. You also get 3 custom ordeal spots, and as you complete ordeals, you actually unlock even more things on your tree of life, where you get your stable upgrades to your character. These can be small little upgrade boosts. They can also be access to new emotes for your character, so some customization stuff. They also give you the access to the ordeals modifiers. When you go to your customized ones, the only thing you can do is turn on that if you're in a co-op match, you both die, or you can make it a boss rush, which is an interesting thing I'm going to talk about in a second. But as you open up stuff on the tree, as you complete ordeals, open up more stuff on the tree, you can then use your crystals to purchase more modifiers to get even more weird and tweaky with your ordeals. To couple that off, the ordeals themselves have individual medals inside them. So like, let's say, go back to the Legion ordeal. I completed the Legion ordeal with Rome. I ended up setting up this like just massive crowd control build with a lot of like echoes and cosmic accidents and stuff like that. I didn't use any crystals on it, so I got those 2 medals. But there's a medal for completing it with each character. There's a medal for no healing. There's a couple other medals that I can't remember what they are, but every ordeal has these same medals. So in addition to just completing the ordeals to unlock more deals and unlock more tree things, you can actually go in and try and earn these sub-achievements. That's very interesting to me. And then finally included in this also are epic mounts. You have to unlock them through the ordeals on the ordeals tree, but it basically gives you these mounts that are way bigger and way scarier, bigger powers, scarier powers to deal with. And then the boss rush mode. The boss rush mode is only accessible again through the ordeals and the customized ordeal. You just turn on the boss rush, and basically what it means is when you start the game, you start in the same place, you get one ritual, and then you're immediately transported into the first boss, and you'll slowly fight through each boss of each area, eventually going all the way to Absolum. I would assume. I've never beaten it yet. So that is very interesting as well. So let's go to the pros and cons, because that's the Threads of Fate DLC. I mean, everything else is bug fixes and stuff like that. Pros and cons are interesting here because they're so interwoven together, but we're going to do the pros as this is the end game this game needed. The minute they drop this, I put another 15 hours into this game. I'm still playing it. I love that. I also love the fact, and this is something else, that your customizable threads, your customizable ordeals still get you rewards towards the tree. They don't unlock more ordeals with Malgus. You have to defeat their preset ones in order to unlock the other ones there, but you still get tree upgrades that way, which I think is really cool. Like, I hate it when my customizable thing doesn't do anything for me or anybody else, because that's just frustrating. Like, why am I doing it in the first place other than just to do it? I like there to be a reward, and this does give you a reward. It also gives you the option that if you want to see all those unlocks, you can go in after you complete one ordeal, you can go in and turn all the enemies down, and then just kick the crap out of the entire game a bunch of times until the tree's unlocked. Or you can build interesting, more balanced ones. My favorite customized build right now, I'm calling my Iron Man build, because I actually unlocked one of the things, and there's so many different modifiers. One of the things that gives you 5 areas per little map spot instead of the normal 3. And I turned the enemies down to 50%, but I turned their health up by 200%, and I made them highly aggressive. So you are in this mode forever. I also gave the player 5% lifesteal as well, which I thought was just fun. It's fun. It's so much fun to do stuff like that, to make yourself an interesting game mode and play it. And even more so, I have not done this yet. It's a pretty new thing, and I didn't see a lot shared yet, but you can actually share these. They all come with a code when you set them up that you can then copy, and you can share, especially if you're in the Absolum Discord. You can share your little code, and then somebody else can take that code, put it into their game, and play your ordeals that you set up, and vice versa. I think that's really, 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 really cool. My next pro is the medals. I think that is a really smart idea. It gives you a reason to just play through every one so many more times. Plus, like I said, the Legion mode, I found the best way to do it so that I could beat it, which was Brome. Brome has some really good clash abilities on his Y button. He also has some really good magical abilities that can crowd control. And I went all time in Cosmic Accident so that I could just crowd control the crap out of the game. I don't know that I could do that as easily with any of the other characters, but there's other medals for that. So now I get to try. And I get to try and earn something. Even though it's nothing, it's not worth anything, and just get a little medal. That's cool to me. I like that. I like having a reason to come back to this game. And I think it's awesome. So let's switch now to cons. Okay? What are the cons of this? All right. I personally just want to say I don't really have any cons. I'm going to point out a couple of things that irritate me, or irritated me at first. But again, and this might be rose-colored glasses because I love this game so much. Once I did it, didn't feel like a con to me anymore, with the exception of one thing. I will give you one set con that I don't like about this DLC, that I hope they rectify later on. So, my big con is, when you download this, you go into the game thinking it's just going to be there, but it's not. Much like the rest of Absolum, you have to play to see it. I was so excited about this. I went into the game, and then I went to Malgus, and he just doesn't say anything to you. He's just standing there. And so I was just running around talking to everyone, trying to figure out, how do I get the ordeals? How do I set the ordeals up? Forgetting that Absolum is a game all about playing Absolum. You don't unlock the second island until you play it. You don't unlock a lot of the things until you play it. It's more runs that you have to explore the game to get the reward of the new things inside the game. Same with all of the swords that you have at your base. So finally, I was just like, I'm just going to do a run. And sure enough, I ended up in the corrupted zone. I got to the sanctuary. Malgus showed up. And then it just all from there became clear to me. The other thing I'm going to say about this, again, not something I necessarily dislike, something that I feel like others would. The fact that all of the ordeal factors, all of the ordeal kind of like things that you can switch are locked behind tree upgrades. I was really excited to mess with the ordeal customizing and to realize that I have to play through the ordeals a certain amount of time. To actually get them unlocked and then mess with them is a little frustrating. I think that I can see a lot of things that I really want to play with and I can't play with them yet because of that. So I would have liked, again though, on the flip side, this game's all about playing. It wants you to play it. It wants you to get out there and it wants you to do it. And those are almost the rewards in themselves. So it's tricky for me to say just have those all unlocked. Because at the same time, it would have been like ice cream overload. I would have eaten all the ice cream in one sitting and then I would have been done. Whereas now, it's this slow trickle of, ooh, I just unlocked new things. What can I mess with now? However, this does bring me to my 100% con of this update. There's only 3 customizable ordeals. Guys, come on. You had to know that people were going to want to set up like 12 of these things. The fact that I've only got 3 before I have to overwrite my ordeal, super frustrating because of the medals. Like if I want to unlock the medals, I have to leave that ordeal up until I completely beat it. I don't want just 3 of those. I want like 7 or 8 or 12 of those. I want to be able to download other people's and stick them in there and leave them there without worrying about not having enough for mine. Like, we need more customization spots. Dadamu, Guard Crush, we need more customizable ordeal spots. Please, your next update, please, more customizable ordeal update spots. All right, so that's it. That brings us whether or not I'm going to stick with it. I think you guys know the answer. This game is possibly my favorite game of all time. It is just, anytime I play it, I have fun. Anytime I'm bored with other games and I go to it, I have fun. It's just my favorite game. I don't know if it's my favorite of all time, but it probably is. I love this game. I love what they've added to this game. I hope that we get way more updates like this in the future. Just every 4 months, give us something new and beautiful and fresh. Even if you want us to pay for it, I will happily give you $10 every time because I love this game so much. So, did I get it right? Did I get it wrong? What do you guys think? You can let me know in the comments below. Other than that, you can reach me on Discord. Links in the description below. As long as you guys keep watching and listening, I'll keep making them.